Today's episode of Desertwood Days with Kathy Blaze is sponsored by Dork Publishing, expanding minds through fantasy since 2018. Learn more at the Dork Publishing website, www.dorcpublishing.com.
I wanna visit all the places nobody goes. I wanna teach all the things that nobody knows. I wanna grow wings, leave the coop, learn to fly. Bungee jump from the tallest building in Dubai. I wanna fly around town in my UFO. I wanna eat real food, not the GMOs. I wanna make moves, call the shots like the boss. I wanna love like I never lost.
Welcome back to Desertwood Days, and today we have an amazing guest for you. He's a filmmaker here in Arizona. Let's welcome Mr. Donovan Smith. Hello there.
Hello.
Were they holding you back there? Good to see you. How are you? Good. Thanks for joining us. So Donovan, you are a filmmaker here in Arizona. Are you a native of Arizona?
Yes, I am actually.
Okay.
Born and raised.
Oh yeah, welcome. I'm a native also.
Oh, nice.
Yes. So how long have you been in the filmmaking industry?
Not very long actually. About 2 years, maybe 3.
Okay.
I've produced a bunch of movies originally.
Okay.
Decided to make my own.
Okay. I always like to give our audience just a little bit of bio on our guest, just to learn about who Donovan is. Well, who was the young Donovan before you got into filmmaking, and what inspired you to get here?
Well, I've always wanted to be a filmmaker my whole life, basically. I grew up watching movies, and it always caught my imagination and gave me stuff to think about, and gave me a vivid imagination myself. So, just growing up watching stuff and seeing everything, and I've been a big monster fan. So that's kind of where basically it all took off for me. About 3 years old when I started loving monsters, and watched my first horror film probably about 7 or 8 years old. So I kind of got into the whole,
Got into it at a young age.
Yeah.
Was mom and dad into horror also?
Oh yes, I actually take my mom to a bunch of horror movies still to this day. We go on we have our movie days, and so she loves going to the crazy stuff too. So yeah.
Not my mom. I remember when I took her to see Chainsaw Massacre with me. I probably should have weaned her in a little softer than that, but she started screaming. We had to end up leaving the theater, so that didn't go very well at all. Taking my mom there.
yeah, I got my love from my parents, so luckily.
Awesome. So, how would you describe your style? I mean, if you could name one of the directors or producers, how would you that does horror? Is there one that you really kind of pull from, or you?
Well, I mean, everybody's favorite, and pretty much my favorite, John Carpenter.
Oh, okay.
Which I actually share the same birthday with him. So.
Okay.
Yeah, it was weird because I fell in love with his films, and then all these years later, I found out that I actually share the same birthday with him, and so I thought that was kind of weird. But yeah, I take a lot of inspiration from him. He's the master of horror, so
Right.
he knows what he's doing. He's the inventor of a lot of different angles and just little tricks here and there for filming. Which if you watch in my film, you'll notice I did some of those similar things.
Okay.
Kind of
Okay.
They say emulate who you want, who you look up to. So.
You know what? We all have our own style of movies that we like. I mean, some people like more comedic or drama, but you know what? It seems like Arizona has a really huge following for horror here.
Yeah.
What is it about horror?
Really, honestly, I think it's the community. One of my friends who was running a movie theater out here for a while during the pandemic, when a lot of theaters were closing down and people were having trouble making sales and stuff, and so she started playing some horror movies, and all the fans started coming out, and so she kept the theater going just by playing horror movies because there were so many of us dedicated fans that go attend all the screenings, and we're always at all the events and everything. So it's just a community. There's a really giant community, and it's very
in Arizona, I don't know but about other places, but Arizona seemed to have a really huge fan base for it here.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, we have lots of filmmakers that love doing horror flicks.
Yeah.
Just seems like you go to a festival, the majority is for horror flicks.
Yeah.
So, as a producer and writer that does horror, I mean, with there being so much, how do you determine what your what's going to do well for your audience? I mean, how do you go there,
Um, you
or
know, I
do you even think about that when you're
no,
writing?
actually, I only made the one short film so far. But yeah, when I did it, I didn't think about what other people were going to think. I just did it for myself and
Okay.
just wanted to make the movie, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
and to get it out there.
Mm.
So
It is. Would you even say, because most time people think, oh, it's just a bunch of blood and guts, people killing and blah blah. Is there a difference in horror? I mean,
yeah, my film doesn't have any blood or guts in it at all. So
okay.
it's
So,
completely void of all
okay,
that.
because most time people think of horror, that's what they think. But
Yeah.
there's different, I want to say different layers or different styles to horror.
Yeah, it's funny working at Blockbuster for some years when I was younger. I learned all So in horror, there's action horror, there's comedy horror, there's
Uh,
drama horror. So it just depends on And
okay.
then for those other genres as well, comedy and drama, there's a
Mm,
drama horror, there's a comedy horror. So it goes both ways. So
okay.
it just it's just however you everybody's horror is different. Everything,
Right,
they take
right,
the word differently. Some people it's, suspense or thrillers. Some people it's blood and
right,
guts. So it just depends
right,
on how you
right.
feel about it and what you.
What do they mean? What is suspense thriller? Do you know? Well, you worked at
Yeah, that's
Blockbuster.
basically kind of what mine was is you just build the suspense and try to keep people on the edge of the seat and wanting more and
Okay.
which is kind of what I did with mine. I made it very much more atmospheric and didn't rely on blood and stuff like that. I wanted to make it more of a creepy film, to be
Okay.
honest.
So, are you a trained filmmaker, or are you self-taught?
Self-taught,
Okay.
actually. Yeah.
Okay.
One of my favorite directors is Kevin Smith, and he said, he went to a film school and he dropped out halfway through, and
Mm.
his reasoning was he grew up watching movies, and so he knows everything about movies. He went to film school, and he said all it was he went there and they just made him watch movies. He said, so what was the point of watching movies? I've been doing that my whole life, so I don't need to go to school for it, which is how
You go there to pay them to watch
yeah,
movies.
when you watch stuff enough, you learn the angles, you learn the
Mm,
little things here and there. So you kind of if you've been doing it, if you've been watching stuff your whole life, you already
mm.
know how to make a movie. So
Oh, okay. Okay. So, your movie, where did you get your material from? Where did to create this movie?
actually, it came from a dream I had. I had a dream about a guy sitting at a desk with some candles and a wide brimmed hat,
Hmm.
and I just basically took that and turned it into a
It
short
came
film,
from a
and
dream you had.
yeah,
Hmm.
so.
That's interesting. So, do you plan on making more films? I mean, is this something that you're very passionate about?
Oh yeah, yeah. This is just the first one. We wanted to basically make this and get it out there to interest people into wanting to work with us and helping us grow
Uh
in
huh.
our own production company, which is Row 18 Lot 20 Production. Um, and so we kind of just wanted to put this out there and hopefully people would like it and
Mm.
see
How's it
what we
been?
can do and then
How's it been going so far?
very well. We had to play at the one film festival so far. It's actually playing again at another film festival today, and it's played at another film festival just a couple of days ago. So,
Okay,
yeah, one
congratulations.
in India, one in Portugal, and then the first one was here in Arizona at
Yes.
Danita's A Night of Misfit Films
Night of
Film
Miss,
Festival.
yes, a great festival. She was one of our guests last season.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yes,
Yeah,
awesome
yeah, I
lady,
love
and
her.
she's doing good things here in Arizona for filmmakers, for anyone that's
Oh
in the
yeah,
film industry.
definitely.
Yes, she is. So, but you mentioned the name of your production company, but you said it really fast, so I didn't catch it.
Oh, Row 18 Lot 20 Productions.
Okay, okay. Um, what are you the sole writer for films with your production company?
Yeah, I'm pretty much the main guy at it. It's just me and my brother right now. So yeah.
Okay, okay. So, do you see yourself sticking with one type of horror, or will you do different versions? Like some of the suspense, the comedic horror. Do you see yourself doing more different types of horror?
Yeah, comedy maybe not so much. It's very hard to splice comedy and horror. Only the really great directors like Wes Craven and people
Uh-huh.
like that, with Scream have been able to do that. But because comedy is really hard to do film wise.
Oh,
But yeah, I want to branch out into some drama films as well and some other
oh,
areas as well. I don't want to do just horror,
right.
which is going back to John Carpenter. He never stuck strictly to horror. He's
Yeah.
jumped from genre to
He's jumped
genre
from
and different
genre.
things too. Yeah, he's done comedy, he's done drama, he's done some action. So
Okay,
yeah,
awesome. Well, we're going to talk more with Donovan Smith right after this commercial break.
Clear? Is the film in black and white?
yes,
Okay.
I did it like that on purpose.
All right. So the trailer, I'd only seen the trailer, so I knew the trailer was in black and white.
Okay.
But I think that's an interesting choice, so I'd like you to ask him about that too.
Okay.
About how that's worked out for him and why
Oh.
he chose it in the first place.
Okay.
And I don't have any other feedback other than that. That sounds like a reference to a trailer park address.
Oh, lot.
Lot 18.
Oh, row 18, lot 20. It's
Yeah.
actually it's where Judith Myers from the original Halloween is buried in the plot.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
people don't know that, so it's one of those titles that nobody has a clue what it is unless I tell them what it is.
That is
So,
super fun. Do you
yeah.
want to keep it as an Easter egg, or would you mind telling our audience that?
Oh, I can tell you if you want. Yeah.
All right, so Mark
So is
and I
that the
both
name
lived
of
in trailer
the-
parks. And Matt thought
No,
it was a
that's the
trailer
name
park
of your
address.
production company,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
the name of his. Just ask.
But in the movie, they say he's like, "Whose plot is this?" And he's like, "Where's she buried?" He says, "Row 18, lot 20." And they go over to her plot, and the headstone's missing. And that's when he says, "Whose is this?" And he goes, 18, 19, 20.
So we won't talk about that until after we see it because I don't know that right now.
Okay. You won't see that in the trailer either.
Oh,
But you will see the company name reappear and
Oh.
ask about the company name.
okay. Well, he already told me, so I can ask about it when we come back.
He asked you what it was. You asked him what it was. Didn't ask him if there was any significance to it.
Okay, but yeah,
So yeah, that'll be funny. That'll be fun. I mean, so we're gonna reset here.
that's row 18, lot
20.
20.
Yeah. So are we ready? Do you need to get a drink of water or a cough drop or anything before we go?
No, I don't want to. I don't want to put a cough drop. It'll take too long to get rid of it.
Okay. Do you need a water or anything? You
No, I'm good. Thank you.
All right. So we're gonna get reset here. We're still rolling, right, Matt?
Yep.
Okay. And we are back in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Welcome back to Desertwood Days, and I am here with Mr. Donovan Smith. So, Donovan, welcome back to Desertwood Days, and I am here with Mr. Donovan Smith. So, Donovan, you said your company's name was Row 18, Lot 20.
Yes.
Where did that come from?
It's actually a reference to part of a movie, part of the original 1978 Halloween movie by John Carpenter. It's the address of the headstone to where his older sister's buried, the first person he ever killed in the first movie. So that's
Cool.
kind of, yeah, it's a deep dig, deep dive.
Yes. Well, you know what? That shows your love. You name your
Yeah.
company off of that. That is awesome. So I know you brought your trailer today,
Yes, I
some
did.
media with us, and let's take a look at that.
All right.
Okay. That was suspenseful there.
Yeah,
So,
grimoire.
is that the name of the film?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and tell me what that means.
That's basically a book of spells. If you look at the movie Evil Dead, and they have the Necronomicon, it has all the crazy, spells in it and whatnot. It's basically the same thing. This movie is highly influenced by Evil Dead.
Oh, you seem to know a lot about horror.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm
Okay.
an encyclopedia of it.
Yes, you
Yeah.
seem. I started to call you that, but
Yeah.
I didn't want to come across
Yeah.
rude.
Yeah.
So, was that from working from Blockbuster, or have you always had that interest that you studied up on it?
Oh yeah, I've always had that interest. It's just been something I'm attracted to. I just love movies in general. So
Oh, okay. I know I do too. I noticed that your film was the trailer was in black and white. Is a film going to be in black and white also?
yeah, the film's in black and white. We wanted to do that basically to uh, harken back and pay a little homage to Night of the Living Dead, but also at the same time it helps hide any mistakes or oversights we might have had during our first shooting. But I think it adds it adds to the atmosphere of the film. So
Hmm. I know I like black and white.
yeah, it's kind of my favorite is some of the old black and white stuff. So
Yeah. So, tell me, with your film it being black and white, how much work did you guys have to do? I mean, like the gentleman that was sitting there at the desk, I noticed he had lots of tats. Were those all his tats, or
oh
did you
yeah,
have to have any work done?
no, he's a professional tattoo artist himself. He's actually very famous one out here. He's done some tattoos on some of the Arizona Cardinals players and stuff like that. So he's pretty well known.
Oh, okay.
His name's Joe Guillermo.
Oh, okay. Did you guys have any special effects people working on the film?
No, it was just us. It was just me and my brother and the guy in the trailer, our actor, one actor. So
Oh,
and that was all that. The only people that worked on it were us three.
oh,
Took a good almost 2 years to get it all done, shot and
oh,
edited and
really?
everything. I had to
Okay.
learn to do all the editing myself, all the sound effects,
Uh,
literally pretty much everything that goes along with making a film. I had to just learn. So
right. So, how did you decide, I mean, because this was a learning curve for you, what music to put with different scenes or whatever?
Well, the only thing that we didn't do in the movie is the music. I
Okay.
had it professionally outsourced to a lady named Miriam Mayer, who is super famous. I worked with the legendary John Williams for a number of years, assisted him on a number of films like Star Wars Phantom Menace, Saving Private Ryan,
Mm.
Catch Me If You Can, that stars Leonardo DiCaprio. So she's done music for so many things. And
Okay.
luckily, I was able to become friends with her over the last few years, and
Oh,
she agreed to do the music for my film, which helps it
okay.
out tremendously right away, right from the start.
Right,
So,
right. Well, you said it took 2 years. Was some of that due to COVID, or was it just pretty much your learning curve?
uh, a little bit of both. We shot it at the beginning of 2021, and then we had to go back up for some reshoots. But that's kind of the reason why we only had the crew of 2 people and the actor
Oh,
of one. It was hard to get anybody to want to do anything at that time. So,
right. Where did you
um,
guys film?
in Payson,
In Payson?
yeah, up
Oh,
north.
okay. So, I know you premiered at the Night of the Misfits, and you mentioned a couple of other places. What are your plans for this? Um, there's plans to do a feature. Is there plans to do a feature or a
Not
short?
not right this second. We have a couple of sequels we're going to make to this, and
Oh,
we're
okay.
actually going to make it a trilogy
Oh, okay.
of the short films just to start out. But we were lucky enough to submit to our first film festival, which was the Night of Misfit Film
Uh-huh.
Festivals, and we got to win an audience favorite award. So it's nice to see.
That's a nice award.
Yeah, right out the bat. So I mean,
Yes.
it's really cool to see that people are interested in the film and people actually liked it and enjoyed it. There's
Yes.
not a lot happening in it because it's more of a slow burn and a build up to what's
Mm.
coming next.
Right.
So
Right. Right. What do you think the audience liked most about it?
I don't know. I just think it really pulls you in and captures your imagination. And it's one of those ones that, being our first film, we played it amongst all these other films of people who have been doing films for years. And
Uh-huh.
it played right along with them, and you couldn't tell the difference. So,
That's
it
awesome.
was pretty nice to
That's
see
something to be
that.
proud of.
Yeah, see that our first time out, we made something that's equal to,
Yes.
you know, it doesn't look like it's our first film. Let me
Right.
just put it
That's
that way.
awesome.
So.
Your first film, and you get that type of
Yeah.
accolades from it. That is really wonderful. So, you plan on doing a trilogy, or where do you see yourself? Where do you see Rule 18, Lot 20, say in 5 years?
Oh, hopefully we're making a feature within 5 years. That's what we're planning on. We wanted to get a few shorts out first, just to get people interested and willing to work with us and wanting to work with us, which after this film festival and taking home that audience favorite award, I've got a lot of phone numbers of people who are interested in all types of facets of facets of the game. So basically we have some special
You
effects
made
people,
made
some
some good
production people
connections.
that have better cameras and better
Uh-huh.
equipment, and they all were like, hey, and that was the reason why we did this. So basically to drum up interest in what we're doing and to have people, later on down the line. So we've already started working on pre-production for the second one, and we've already got more than one person in it acting. So
Wonderful.
right there, it's already helped us
Wonderful.
just in that area.
Did you happen
So.
to see Dr. Seville, Kevin Phipps' film?
I don't know if I did.
Okay. That was it was a horror type. I mean, I'm probably not giving the correct name, but I was just wondering if you had seen that. It premiered this year sometime also. So, what advice would you give to that Donovans out there that has thoughts of creating a film but don't know how to get started?
Well, as I've said said this before. It sounds cliche, but people always tell you just go out and make a movie and to not worry about everything to just work with what you have, basically, which is kind of what we did. I just decided, let's just see what we can do with what we have, and work. We only had one actor, we only had a crew of two. So we found a nice location, and we worked with just that single location and just the one actor. But it worked out. So basically, the advice is, look around for what you can use and use that to help you progress. And if you only got one person, just write something that it only takes one person to do, which is kind of what I did with this film. I just which was it came from a dream, so it was cool because in the dream I only had one person, so I only needed one person for the film. But we want to go
But you
bigger
look
and
like you had a
better.
monster in the background. Did I see a
Yeah,
monster?
yeah.
So that's the second person, right?
Well, that was me. So,
Okay.
yeah. So only having the three of us, one of us had to step in and do it, and so I stepped in, because I knew how I wanted the monster to look,
Right.
and act and move and stuff. So I figured,
Like, did someone stand behind a tree and just hold a mask out there?
yeah. Well, we had our actor do both roles at first, but it was a little too hard for him to be able to do the creature as well.
Sure.
So
Where-
I stepped in and took over on that. So.
Where can our audience find you?
You can find me on Facebook, Instagram. I'm under Monster Dugan on Instagram and Twitter. I also write for pophorror.com and blazingminds.co.uk. So you can find me on those websites as well, with multiple articles. I'm actually going to be covering the Horror on Sea Film Festival in the UK in January here. And I do a ton of reviews for the films and stuff of other people, and they like to use some of my quotes on their stuff to help sell it and put it out there, so that it's pretty fun. So you can find me on those, but the main place I'm at is on Facebook. There's a big time community of indie horror filmmakers on Facebook, and so that's where you can find me the most. I'm usually most active on there.
Okay.
So.
Thank you for joining us today. It was such a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. And thank you for joining us here today, and we'll catch you next time on Desertwood Days.
Today's episode of Desertwood Days with Kathy Blaze was sponsored by Dork Publishing. Visit them at dorkpublishing.com.